Have the millions of Epstein files that the Trump regime continues to conceal, have they been hacked by a foreign government? Iran, perhaps. Have foreign governments, Iran, perhaps, have they hacked into the emails of Donald Trump, of people in Donald Trump's regime, of other people who are identified in very grotesque and despicable ways in the Epstein files? We know that Iran has a history of hacking Donald Trump and people in his regime. And Ayatollah Khomeini, the supreme leader of Iran, has hinted that he possibly has information that could bring down Donald Trump and the regime. Here's what Khomeini says. This island of corruption is only one example. There is much more of this. Just as this was not apparent and then became exposed, there are many other things that will soon come to light. Everything we had ever heard about their corruption is one thing. This affair of that morally corrupt island is another altogether. These are indicative of what Western civilization and liberal democracy are. They proceed for 200, 300 years, and this is the ultimate outcome. Now, we know that in 2024, Iran hacked the Trump campaign with a spear phishing operation. Microsoft alerted the Trump regime that they were hacked. Frankly, the Trump regime knew they were hacked before Microsoft alerted them, but then the Trump regime had to go public when Microsoft had to go public with the data breach. So what did Iran get in 2024? You may recall someone by the name of Robert, who was representing the interests of Iran, went to media outlets to try to give them dirt on Donald Trump at that time. There was an indictment against Iranian hackers that followed in September of 2024. Thereafter, Iran hacked Trump's Truth social media platform in June of 2025. And Iran said that they got a lot of sensitive information by hacking Truth Social. Whether that's true or not, we don't yet know what they got in that hack, but it is undisputed that they hacked Truth Social when Trump struck Iran, when he attacked Iran's nuclear facilities back last June. Iran utilizes very sophisticated hacker groups. The 313 team is one such group. Handala is another such group. And other Iranian-backed hacker groups have been out there going after the Trump regime and going after people who are affiliated with the Trump regime and who are affiliated with Epstein. One of the people who were hacked that had a treasure trove of Epstein emails that the Iranian-backed hacker group Handala gave to DDoS, which stands for Distributed Denial of Secrets, a website which is widely considered to be the successor of WikiLeaks. They hacked former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. DropSite News was the first to report on that hack. We reported it here on the MeidasTouch network, and this was many, many months ago. That hack was May of 2025 or so. By the way, that was before the other hack in June of 2025 on Donald Trump's Truth Social platform. And so Iran had been loading these Epstein documents from Ehud Barak, showing that Epstein and Ehud Barak were involved in these arms deals across the world when people were saying, oh, it's just conspiratorial that Epstein was involved in all of these things. And we know Epstein is involved in all of these things. Here's how it was described, the emails that they got, that the hacker group got. An Israeli drone company, malaria testing technology, and the proposed sale of an American billionaire's oil and gas empire are among the many previously unknown business ventures that former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak discussed with the late sex offender and financier Jeffrey Epstein, emails reveal. Epstein served as a trusted financial advisor, fixer, concierge, sounding board, and even friend to the ex-Israeli leader during a long-running relationship that blurred professional and personal boundaries, their emails suggest. That was from May of 2025. And you may remember on the MeidasTouch Network, we talked about that then. Back in August of 2024, Donald Trump posted, "We were just informed by Microsoft Corporation that one of our many websites was hacked by the Iranian government." Never a nice thing to do. They were only able to get publicly available information, but nevertheless, they shouldn't be doing anything of this nature. Iran and others will stop at nothing because our government is weak and ineffective, but it won't be for long. What Iran doesn't realize is that I will make the world a better and safer place, and that's good for them also. And then we know that Truth Social was hacked. Iranian-aligned hackers claim responsibility for Truth Social cyber attack. This is June 23rd, 2025. Hackers aligned with Iran have claimed responsibility for a cyber attack on Trump's Truth Social platform. According to the Cyber Nonprofit Center for Internet Security, the Iran-aligned hacking group 313 team took credit for a distributed denial of service attack on Truth Social within hours of U.S. strikes on several Iranian nuclear facilities Saturday, a CIS spokesperson confirmed. And I think it's important that we ask, is Donald Trump worried that Iran has the goods on him and people in his regime? Just take a look at Donald Trump's behavior. Let's look at it objectively. Back on January 13th of 2026, this is what Donald Trump said to Iranian protesters. "Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions. Save the names of the killers and abusers. They will pay a big price. I have canceled all meetings with Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. Help is on its way. MAGA, make Iran great again." President Donald J. Trump, he told the protesters, keep protesting. I've got your back. And at the same time, Donald Trump was doing TV appearances where he said, I told the Iranian leaders, you better not start shooting because we'll start shooting too in early to mid-January of 2026. Here's what Donald Trump said.
The protesters, I just hope, just God bless them. I just hope the protesters in Iran are going to be safe because that's a very dangerous place right now. And again, I tell the Iranian leaders, you better not start shooting because we'll start shooting too.
Now, after that, Iran started shooting. They massacred thousands of the protesters who Donald Trump said, go out and protest. They listened to what Donald Trump was saying. Trump said he had their back. And not only did he throw them under the bus, he threw them into a death, like literally threw them into their deaths. And then after all these thousands and thousands of protesters were massacred and the Ayatollah put the protest down, Donald Trump wrote, I greatly respect the fact that all scheduled hangings, which were to take place yesterday, over 800 of them have been canceled by the leadership of Iran. Thank you.
2026's mantra, don't settle for number 2, even when you're going number 2. Bidets put your well-being first, no matter what weird chapter of self-improvement you might be going through. Tushy Bidet is incredible, and I just can't gatekeep this any longer. Tushy is the everyday luxury bidet that instantly transforms your bathroom habits and bottom health for life. 99% of people who wash with Tushy warm water bidets feel cleaner and fresher after going to the bathroom. Tushy e-bidets instantly modernize your daily routine and bathroom with a heated seat, adjustable water temperature, and a powerful yet gentle dryer. Every Tushy bidet easily attaches to your existing toilet without the need for additional plumbing. E-bidets only require an outlet. This is a daily decadence with practical benefits. Over half of the people who wash with Tushy soothe their hemorrhoids, and 9 out of 10 people reduce itching and discomfort. Instead of wiping endlessly with toilet paper, Tushy pristinely removes 99% of bacteria while protecting your natural skin barrier thanks to one natural ingredient, fresh water. Every Hello Tushy bidet comes with a 30-day hassle-free return and a 12-month warranty. Number 2 is Tushy's thing. Go take care of number 1. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first bidet order when you use code MeidasTouch at checkout. That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code MeidasTouch.
I think it's important to ask, Did Iran let Trump know that they have dirt on him? And is Trump afraid to help the protesters or do what he claims he's going to do because he believes that they have records on him from the hacks? Or are they even in his head right now where he doesn't know what they have or they don't have? There was someone very close to the Ayatollah in the Iranian parliament who gave an interview recently, and he said what Donald Trump has been communicating through back channels, through the Qataris, through the Ayatollah is, look, Donald Trump just wants to make it look like he's hit Iran. Can you just allow Donald Trump to strike a few locations, pretend it's a big deal, and then we can all move on? This way Donald Trump can look tough. That's the message that Donald Trump is allegedly sending through Qatar to the Ayatollah right now. And the message that the Ayatollah is sending back is basically, more is going to come out about you, Donald. Or here's what the Ayatollah Khomeini wrote as well. This is what he wrote yesterday. The Americans say, let's negotiate over your nuclear energy. And the result of the negotiation is supposed to be that you do not have this energy. If that's the case, there's no room for negotiation. But if negotiations are truly to take place, determining the outcome of the negotiations in advance is a wrong and foolish act. So the Ayatollah is calling Donald Trump a foolish negotiator, while also saying the island of corruption is only one such example. There's much more of this. Many other things will soon come to light, while saying Trump is a foolish negotiator. Now, if you don't believe the Ayatollah is hinting to Donald Trump that he's got dirt, then I've got some Trump Bibles to sell you right now. In addition, the Ayatollah has been talking tough back to Donald Trump. Ayatollah Khomeini threatened to sink U.S. aircraft carriers if Trump engages in any type of strikes on Iran. He says that Trump won't be able to topple the Islamic Republic. So what did Donald Trump say recently? Well, when Donald Trump was recently aboard Air Force One, he was asked about Iran. What do you think they want to do? And Donald Trump goes, I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal. Well, I'm reading for you what the Ayatollah is saying, who's also including in that we've got dirt on you, basically. Here, play this clip of Donald Trump saying, I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal. Here, play this clip.
What are you expecting from these Iran talks in Geneva tomorrow?
So I'll be involved in those talks indirectly, and they'll be very important. We'll see what can happen. It's been typically, Iran's a very tough negotiator. They're good negotiators, or bad negotiators. I would say they're bad negotiators, because we could have had a deal instead of sending the B-2s in to knock out their nuclear potential, and we had to send the B-2s. I hope they're going to be more reasonable. They want to make a deal.
I've been told that a deal is next to impossible.
No, I think they want to make a deal. I don't think they want the consequences of not making a deal. They want to make a deal.
And meanwhile, you had Lindsey Graham saying anybody at the White House who thinks that the Ayatollah would honor a deal to give up their ambitions, you're a fool. Here's what Lindsey Graham has been saying. Here, play this clip.
President Trump said, if they come after you, they got to go through me. If you thought Afghanistan was a debacle, it was. The only thing worse would be to entice people out into the streets against a brutal dictator and pull the plug on them. To anybody at the White House who thinks the Ayatollah would honor a deal to give up his nuclear ambition, you're a fool. Donald Trump is not a fool. These people are out in the streets because they believe in Trump.
Now, back on Air Force One, Donald Trump is asked about what's going on in Gaza. And Trump pretends, with all of this happening, that there's peace in the Middle East, he says. That he says, we're now in phase 2 in Gaza. Everything's going great. There's a ceasefire. No, there isn't. There isn't. There have been hundreds of innocent Palestinians who have been killed by Israel since the ceasefire has been announced. There's also been Hamas who's killed who are not innocent. But there are women and children by the hundreds who have been killed in Palestine, in Gaza right now, while Trump is pretending that things are great when things are not great. Listen to what he has to say here. Play this clip.
Now that Gaza's entering phase 2, should Israel lift its ban on foreign journalists being allowed into Gaza?
We'll be lifting a lot of bans pretty soon. I think you're going to see everything opening up. Gaza, look, we have peace in the Middle East. Now, you have some flames here and there, but we essentially have peace in the Middle East. And that happened primarily when we did the B-2 attack on the potential nuclear power. They would have had a nuclear weapon within 1 month. If that happened, it would have been a whole different deal.
So I do find it fascinating, and I want to know your take. Do you think that Iran has indeed we know they've hacked. Like, it's not a question. Did they or did they not hack? They hacked. They hacked Trump's campaign. What did they get from all of the people? Did they get anything on Lutnick? Did they get anything on people in Trump's inner circle? Did they get things on Trump? We know they hacked. We know they hacked Truth Social. We know that Trump uses Truth Social as a way to do text messages, right? When Donald Trump was sending those text messages to Pam Bondi saying, you need to go after my political opponents, he accidentally posted it publicly. And he was like, Pam, here's what you need to do. He uses direct messages to communicate to Pam Bondi, to Lindsey Halligan, to people. So does Iran have all of his direct messages and other direct messages that were sent to him? Trump doesn't really use secure devices. Now, we also know that people like Mike Waltz and Pete Hegseth, that they weren't in sensitive compartmented information facilities, that they've been out there messaging. So what else does Iran have? What does 313 have? What does Handala have? What does Robert have, the proxy who reached out to the media back in 2024? What do they have on Ehud Barak? You know, it's interesting because when I was a litigator, one of the ways we would identify whether there were documents missing in document productions was not by hacking. We would send third-party subpoenas to other individuals and get their documents and compare it to what the defendant would produce or not produce, right? And so here, when you have the hacks of people directed who are in the Epstein files, and you start seeing what their emails look like, and you compare it to what has been produced, that is significant. And I also think, let's be clear, the Iranian hackers are top-notch hackers. Like they're I'm not trying to like praise it. Just they have a very good hacking team. Great hackers can look at those Epstein files and see the emails and see everybody who's attached, and they could get a roadmap of people's, how sloppy it was handled by the DOJ. They can get a roadmap of who now to engage in spear phishing operations against as well. So I think a lot more will be coming out. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million, and thanks for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.